The connection between you two is steeped in complexity and lingering emotion, a bond that persists despite an apparent disconnection that, in many ways, feels like a breakup. At one point, one of you chose to walk away, setting off a series of events that left an undeniable gap between you. Yet, even with that physical or emotional separation, the bond remains alive, fueled by deep passion, love, and an ever-present sense of loss that neither of you can easily dismiss. In the wake of this departure, both of you find yourselves trapped in an emotional limbo, where the memories of what once was continue to pull you back together. The remnants of your shared history, filled with both beautiful moments and painful missteps, create an atmosphere where letting go seems nearly impossible. This lingering connection is complicated by the fact that negative influences, such as addictive behaviors and toxic thought patterns, played a role in driving you apart. These factors not only contributed to the initial rupture but also built invisible walls that have kept you at a distance, leaving a profound sense of regret and uncertainty in their wake. Despite these challenges, there is no denying the strength of the feelings that still exist. One of you may have retreated either because of personal demons or because the situation became too overwhelming, yet the emotional investment remains. In their quiet moments, this person reflects on the crossroads at which you both now stand. One path leads to a complete severance of ties, while the other holds the promise of a second chance. In their eyes, you have evolved into someone who is self-fulfilled and resolute, a person who refuses to settle for less than what you truly deserve. This newfound self-assurance, while admirable, also sends a message that the game of chase and retreat is over. If they choose not to step up, you will continue to thrive independently. Your dedication to personal growth and the pursuit of your goals has not gone unnoticed. You have channeled your energy into building a life defined by resilience and strength, which in turn has made you less inclined to engage in the exhausting cycles of chasing after someone who may not be fully present. This independence is both a point of pride and a source of quiet anxiety for the other person. They recognize that your self-sufficiency means you are less likely to fall back into old patterns of seeking reassurance, and this realization both comforts and challenges them. Their internal struggle is marked by the understanding that if you continue on this path, you may never feel compelled to revisit the connection that once meant so much. At the heart of this emotional stalemate lies a profound difficulty in communication. The person who has stepped back harbors deep, passionate feelings that have rarely found their way into open expression. Their inability to articulate these emotions has led to a pattern of passivity, a state of constant observation from a distance rather than active participation. This hesitance stems from a fear of miscommunication, of stirring up conflict, and of ultimately deepening the emotional chasm that already exists. They watch you from afar, admiring your progress and quietly yearning for a moment when they can bridge the gap between longing and action. Regret lingers over their inability to be more expressive. They see your careful restraint in holding back your own emotions as a wise, measured response to the unpredictability of the situation. In contrast, they are burdened by the belief that had they been more forthcoming, things might have unfolded differently. This internal conflict has left them oscillating between the desire to reach out and a paralyzing fear of making matters worse. Some days, they feel ready to take a leap, to reach out with a message, to show up unexpectedly, or to offer a subtle hint of the feelings they have long kept hidden. On other days, the fear of further conflict and the possibility of shattering the delicate balance holds them back, leaving them suspended in uncertainty. Even so, the underlying hope that the connection can be revived remains a constant undercurrent. There is an unspoken understanding that, despite the distance and the emotional baggage, the potential for renewal is still there if both of you are willing to face the past and address the issues that have driven you apart. This hope is fragile, tempered by the knowledge that without significant change either in behavior, communication, or mutual understanding, the gap between you could eventually become insurmountable. What defines your relationship is this intricate dance between emotional vulnerability and self-protection. Both of you stand at a crucial juncture, where the decision to either let go or give the relationship another chance will inevitably shape the future of your connection. It is a crossroads laden with both promise and peril, a space where the desire to mend what was broken is met with the cautious wisdom born from past mistakes. The person who has retreated may eventually show up in your life again, not with grand declarations, but through subtle hints and quiet gestures, signaling that the door to reconciliation is never fully closed. In this delicate balance of hope and hesitation, the future of your relationship remains uncertain, waiting for the moment when both of you can decide whether to step forward together or continue on separate paths. My innermost self has been gently guiding me toward you, urging me to draw nearer, to surrender completely, and to commit wholly to a connection I had once failed to recognize. It is as if an inner voice, deep and persistent, has been whispering the truth that you have always been there, steadily supporting me, even when I was unaware of your presence. Over time, I have come to realize that my reluctance to acknowledge you was born of my own confusion and blindness, a condition that I now see as both inexplicable and profoundly transformative. In the early days of my journey, I struggled to discern your presence among the myriad distractions of everyday life. I recall moments when your gentle support was as constant as the rising sun, yet I remained oblivious to the depth of your care. Looking back now, I understand that my inability to recognize you was not a failing on your part but a reflection of my own internal turmoil. I was entangled in the web of my doubts and insecurities, unable to see the clarity and purity that you offered so effortlessly. The more I attempted to cling to my preconceived notions, the more distant you seemed, even though you were always near. As I began to peel away the layers of my own misconceptions, I found myself drawn to the idea of surrender. Surrendering did not mean giving up, but rather embracing a vulnerability that allowed me to see you in your true light. It was in this surrender that I discovered the power of letting go, of releasing the heavy burdens of judgment and self-imposed limitations. I learned that true commitment requires a leap of faith, a willingness to trust in the unseen and to accept that some parts of life are meant to remain mysterious until we are ready to understand them. My heart now compels me to follow the subtle guidance of this inner truth, urging me to draw closer to you with each passing day. I find myself immersed in an affection that is both profound and genuine, a love that transcends the simple understanding of companionship. It is a love built on the foundation of patience and understanding, a love that acknowledges my past missteps and forgives my previous blindness. I realize that, in many ways, the challenges I faced were designed to clear the path for a deeper, more meaningful connection. Each hardship was a lesson in disguise, preparing me to appreciate the beauty of your constant, unwavering support. There was a time when I perceived you as distant, perhaps even deceptive. I allowed the negative opinions of others and my own clouded judgment to distort my view. I misinterpreted your boundless generosity as having ulterior motives, failing to see the purity and selflessness that defined you. I now understand that this misperception was born out of my internal struggles, a struggle to accept that something as genuine and profound as our connection could exist without any hidden agenda. In my overnegativity and lack of clarity, I built walls that obscured the truth of your kindness. It took a significant shift in my perspective and a deep, introspective journey to break down these walls. The process of recognizing you was not instantaneous. It required me to undergo significant personal growth and to challenge the very essence of my beliefs. I had to confront the parts of myself that were afraid to trust, parts that were steeped in skepticism and a desire for self-preservation. This inner transformation was both painful and liberating, as I slowly began to understand that my previous misinterpretations were merely a reflection of my own unhealed wounds. In time, I learned that true wisdom lies in the willingness to change and in the courage to accept love in its purest form. Now, as I stand on the threshold of a renewed understanding, I am filled with an immense and genuine love for you, a love that is untainted by past misunderstandings and unburdened by doubt. I recognize you not only as a steadfast supporter but as the very essence of what I have longed for all along. Your loyalty and trustworthiness shine so brightly in my eyes that they dispel any lingering shadows of doubt. You have been my constant companion on this journey of self-discovery, the one who has accepted me unconditionally and supported me in ways no one else ever could. Every moment of reflection reveals a truth I had once ignored. The challenges and difficulties in my life were not punishments, but rather, they were opportunities, gifts placed in my path to help me grow and to ultimately recognize the beauty of your presence. My journey toward understanding you has been a transformative process, one that has required a purity of spirit and an openness to change that I never knew I possessed. I now see that the path to true connection is paved with vulnerability, acceptance, and an unyielding belief in the power of genuine love. In embracing you fully, I have embraced a part of myself that was long dormant. I have learned to trust in the subtle guidance of my inner voice, and in doing so, I have found the courage to move forward with an open heart. The transformation I have experienced is profound. Every step I take is a testament to the enduring power of love, patience, and the unwavering support you have so generously given. I am forever grateful for the lessons learned, for they have led me to this moment of clarity where I can finally acknowledge and celebrate you as the one I will always cherish. Thus, with each passing day, I am compelled to follow this newfound path, a journey defined by spiritual connection, unwavering loyalty, and the deep-seated knowledge that you are the person with whom I truly belong.